AngularJS. In this session we are going to see form. So we create an AngularJS form. We create an application, AngularJS application. In this we create a form, and we are going to make use of one directive named data-ng-click and then an error flag. So in this session we are going to see the AngularJS directive named ng-click. Okay, so we are going to make this ng-click as an attribute with an HTML element. Alright, so exactly what we are going to see. So on the screen you can see the text box, right? So when I make this when I remove this text, right, so when the text box becomes empty, I want a message to appear on the screen. All right, so like first name is mandatory, so let me remove this text Thiruchitrampalam from the first text box. All right, so I am going to remove. See, now as of now you don't find any text here, right? Any message here on the screen. Right side of the text box you don't find any message. So when I remove this text, I would like to display a message on the screen like this. So now you can see asterisk first name is mandatory, right? So I want the AngularJS application to display this message to the end user. First name is mandatory. All right, when I remove the text from the, when I make this text box empty, then I want the application to show this message to the end user. Right? So how do I make? So when I click on when I remove the text from the second text box, I want to show the message last name is mandatory. So how do I make this happen? All right, so that's what we're going to see. And then one more stuff we're going to see, I give Thiru, right, and here I give N. All right, and when I click on reset, I want both the text box to become empty. All right, so both the text box shouldn't have any text messages. So when I click on reset button, so this how do I make? So these stuff you are going to see. Or instead of empty text box, if you want to have some other value, then when I click on reset, if you want to have some other value, so how do we make? So these stuff we are going to see. I'm going to click on this reset. Now you can see Thiruchitrampalam and N. So these are all the values I have given, I have already assigned. So when I click on, every time when I click on reset, these values get assigned to the text box. So if I give some other, see just I key in some other stuff. Okay, and when I click on reset, I want this Thiruchitrampalam and N, Thiruchitrampalam as the first name and N as the last name. So if this has to happen, so what are all the code snippet and how do we make it? So these stuff we are going to see in this session. All right, so let's see how do we make it. So already to save the time, I have created the application named ANG. All right, and then this web app is created underneath the web app lib folder is created, and here I have placed the AngularJS files, and then I have created index.html, right, and then I have created a ang-demo.js AngularJS file. Right, so here in this AngularJS file I have created the module named ang demo. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to create the controller. So app.controller. So whatever I have just said, these stuff we have seen in the previous sessions. Alright, so that's the reason, just to save time I have done this. So app.controller, we create the controller. We're going to give the name ang-ctrl, and then here I create the function, and within this I pass the scope. Okay, and here so I create the function, and here what I do, scope object dot nt, again I create the function, and within this what I do, scope dot first name equal. So here I am going to give Thiruchitrampalam. Okay. So scope dot last name. Here I am going to give n as a value, right? So now and then what I do, I just call this NT function. Okay, that's it. So I make a call to this NT function. So whenever I call this NT function, obviously this first name would be assigned with the value Thiruchitrampalam and last name would be assigned with the value n, and both these first name and last name which resides in the scope object, right? Fine. Now we go to index.html. Here I have given the title as ngClick. Okay, and then the sr AngularJS file is added using the sr script element, and angdemo.js AngularJS file just we have created, that's been added using the script element. So inside this body, what I do, I'm going to create the div. In this div I just add the Angular app using the data-ng-app equal to app name. So app name is angdemo. Okay, and then I'm going to add the controller data-ng-controller equal to, the controller name is angctrl. Alright, so that's been added. Now here I just create the form and I give a name for this form is fr. Okay, and then I'm going to use the keyword no validate. Okay, so this this disables all the browser specific validation, right? Here what I do, I give a label first name. Okay, and then just to make the cursor to the next line, br, I use the break line br element, and here I give the last name as a label, and then again br element, and then so near this label first name I'm going to create a text box using the input element. So here within this input I give the type equal text. Okay, and then I give a name to this text box using the name attribute. So here I give name equal fn, first name. Okay, and then what I do, data-ng-model. So this attribute I'm going to use, this attribute is used to make the two-way binding, right, between the model and the view. Already I have explained in the previous session. So here I'm going to give go to angdemo.js Angular model angdemo. Here you can see the first name and last name, right? So these values should be assigned. Here I take first name, so that whenever any changes I make in the AngularJS file, angdemo.js file, here that will be reflected on the view page, and if I do any changes on the view page, alright, so that will get stored in this angdemo.js file underneath this first name, right? So here I take this first name and then I paste it over here. Sorry, first name. Okay, so nearby I gave a keyword required. So this makes on the beginning of the session I have shown if you want to display any message nearby the text box, we need to do some stuff, right? So this we need to give this required keyword to make any message that appears on the screen, right? So here I give required, that is mandatory, and then I'm going to use the span element. Here what I do, I use the style attribute just to make the text appear in some color. So style attribute, here I assign value color colon green. Okay, you can give any color, whatever you want, you can give any color. So and then what I do, I use data hyphen ng hyphen show. I use this attribute data hyphen ng hyphen show equal. Here I use, so we have created the form name is fr and then the text box name is fn, right? So we need to give this first form name fr dot fn, text box name fn dot, there is a flag called error dollar, there is a flag called named error, I mean there is a flag called named dollar error, right? So this flag should be used here, and then nearby I key in dot and then required, right? That's it. So and whatever the value you want to display it on the view page, that should be given here. So I give it within the as a value for the span element. So here I give it asterisk, first name is mandatory. So that's it. So what I do, so here I have created a text box input, text box using the input element, and then I have added the span element just to add just to enable the error flag, right? Error flag, that's it. Error flag, and just to I have added the span element just to add the error, enable the error flag along with the message whatever we want to display it on the view page. So I am going to use the same stuff for the last name text box. I just copy and paste it. I'm going to make small changes. The name should be, this text box name should be last name ln, and then here it should be last name, right? So go to ang demo, you can see the last name, so that should be given here as a value for the ng hyphen demo, ng hyphen model. Okay, and then required keyword is given here, style is green color. Okay, and then ng hyphen show, data hyphen ng hyphen show, this attribute here we give the value fr form fr dot fn dot, we use the error flag, and then we use the keyword required, and then whatever the message we want to display it, we give it here. So here I give, this is the last text box, so I give it last text box. All right, that's it. So and then we move on to, we're going to create the button. So input, so we're going to create the button input. Here I give type equal, you can see the button, select it. Okay, and here what I do, I'm going to give the value for this button, that is reset. Okay, whatever the value you give here for the value attribute, that will be displayed over the button. All right, and then I'm going to make use of the attribute data hyphen ng hyphen click. Okay, so here I'm going to call the method, all right, so which we defined in the module ang demo. Okay, you can see the method, that is the function nt, right? So that we have created. So I'm going to call this function nt. All right, so I just give nt and then the parenthesis, that's it. So whenever I call, so now you can see on the view page the first name would be shown, and then the text box, and then the last name would be shown, and then the text box, and then the reset button, right? These text box would be filled with the values Thiruchitrampalam and then the N, because we have assigned the first name and last name, right? So let's see, I'm going to run this. So let me run this. I just removed the so I just made a change here. Last name, here you can see the ng show, right? Data ng show. Here last name you can see fr is represents the form name, fr represents the form name, and ln represents the text box name, right? So here I all just now I have changed as ln. Previously it was fn. Okay, so yeah, it has not been changed. Now I have changed it, right? So ln, fine. So now let me run this. I can see the you can see the ng click as a title of the page, because we have given here ng click as a title of the page. Okay, now you can see the first name and then the text box. So first name, go here. First name is we have given the label as first name, and then we have created the text box using the input element. Okay, and here we have assigned the data-ng model equal to first name. All right, so the first name so which resides in the module ang demo. All right, and underneath the controller ang controller. Okay, so this first name which has got the value Thiruchitrampalam, that's the reason you can see the value Thiruchitrampalam. Okay, and then you can see the label last name. This we have given it in the on the HTML page, and then we have created an input we have created a text box using input element. Here we have assigned the text box using the value using the attribute data-ng model, which has been assigned last name. So which this last name holds the value n. Okay, that's the reason you can see n value, right? And then you can see we have created a button using the input element, and here we have given the value reset, and this input element, this button again, it in turn it calls the nt function, which resides in the controller ang ctrl. All right, so I'm gonna so go here. What I do when I click on this reset button, all right, first we need to see the error flag, right? So when I remove this, when I make this first text box empty, then obviously I will get a message on the right side of the text box, and that message would be first name is mandatory. So that's the message we have given. So let us remove. See, I'm going to remove. See, now you can see the first name is mandatory. All right, so this first name is mandatory. So how come this happens? So go here. You can see data-ng model attribute. Here first name is assigned, nearby required this keyword is given, and then spawn element is created, and in this data-ng show, here I have used the error flag. So this error flag, and nearby I have used the required keyword. So, and then I have given the whatever the message I would like to show on the view screen. First name is mandatory, that's been given here. So that's the reason you can see this message, first name is mandatory. Okay, and which is in green color, make a note of it. So because in the span element I have given the style of the text, right? I have used the style attribute, and which has been assigned the color green. All right, so if I give any other color, that will be reflected on the view page. And then so the same applies to the second text box, last name. So when I remove this n, when I make this text box empty, obviously you can see last name is mandatory. All right, now when I click on reset, all right, it will this both the text box will have some values. First text box will have Thiruchitrampalam as a value, and second text box will have the N as a value. Because you can go here, we have assigned the value first name with the value Thiruchitrampalam and last name with the value N, right? So I'm going to click on this reset. Now let's see, now you can see the Thiruchitrampalam as a first name and N as a last name. All right, so that's it. So in this session we have seen the directive named ng-click, all right, and then the flag named dollar symbol error. All right, so what is this flag and the ng directive ng-click directive, and then how to make use of this in an AngularJS application. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.